What's going on, champs and chambits? It's FireMonkey here, and we have a completely different topic to talk about than what you're seeing on screen, but as a little bit of a heads up, if you're watching this video the exact same day it goes live, make sure to log into Fortnite in order to get yourself the free soccer ball toy, which has the exact same name as a previous soccer ball toy we actually got on Fortnite before. However, it's a shiny blue version, so just kind of make sure you log in to get yourself this free reward. But without further ado, let's move over to what the actual topic is. Now, what are we here to actually talk about in today's YouTube video? Well, as you guys know, we've had a lot of Fortnite sprites added to the game. There's been so many different ways to get them. Certain ones you're able to actually guarantee by kicking the soccer ball toy into an actual net, or kicking one of the ones that are actually on the ground in that area into a net. There have been certain ones for eliminating bosses, the Batman sprite you can get from eliminating the Batman NPCs. But with all of those sprites, you've been able to also get them from chests and sprite chests around the island. Now, what makes this sprite for today's YouTube video a little bit different is the fact that it's not only a collaboration sprite, being Polo and FNCS Pro Player right here, which has the unique ability of making it so whenever you earn an elimination, you and your nearby squad members actually replenish shield for free without using like any minis, big pots, or anything else. But it's because of the fact that it works like the old Xbox or PlayStation infection achievements in games like Titanfall and Halo, where the only way to get this sprite was by eliminating Polo himself. That is right, it was a sprite where the only way of getting it was by actually eliminating a pro player, or eliminating someone who managed to get it off of him that managed to put it in another match and try surviving or whatever else. Of course, as time goes on, it gets spread to more and more players. It makes it easier to actually obtain it, similar to all the other sprites. But unlike the other sprites, for example, the super rare like 0 point sprites, which I've never even seen one normally in a match that I have collected, I managed just to get them from friends. It is something where you're only really going to see it from other people grabbing it. And when I say that, some people might be like, oh dang it, my sprite collection journey's over. Regardless of the fact that the sprite collection stuff is staying to the next season of Fortnite, and we're going to be getting more and more sprites, it is something where some people might feel a little bit discouraged because they don't want to go up against a pro player or find the one person who did in order to grab the sprite off of them. They just want to go ahead and be able to grab the sprite themselves. But luckily, we do have some good news for those type of players who don't want to have to deal with sweating it out, going where everyone else is going for the one person in the lobby with the Polo sprite. Because according to Epic Games, starting next week, this sprite will be enabled in normal loot pools, so you'll be able to pick up the Polo sprite from normal chests. You'll be able to grab it from the sprite chest, the little vaults and everything else, just like you can every other sprite. And from the information I've been able to see, it appears that it's going to be as common as the Vinny Jr. and Burnt Peanut sprites. And I'm pretty sure you guys know those are pretty common, right? Despite being mythic rarity, you find those all the time in the game. Like, there's been times before where I've gotten like 3 Burnt Peanut sprites back to back to back. There's been like back-to-back Vinny Jr. sprites and stuff like that. So I'm not too surprised that they're going ahead and doing this type of stuff and making it something that's going to be pretty common, but I think it's a pretty unique activation. Now, considering the fact that it isn't currently available on any cosmetic rewards such as the Guardian skin or of the Sprite Pod backbling, maybe it's something where we don't have to worry too much about it, because it's not going to be something where if you miss out on it, you're going to entirely miss out on an entire variant. But it might be in the next game update when we actually get more variants actually added. But I do want to know in the comments down below, how do you feel about them doing an infection sprite type of system, even though they're going to make it something available for everyone next week? Do you think it's pretty cool? Do you think it's something that should be used for a cosmetic or a thing that doesn't give you any like competitive advantage or anything? Similar to like, oh, an infection banner. Think about it like this, you were able to go in a match with someone who had a certain banner on. They didn't even have to have it equipped, they just had to have it in their inventory, and by either eliminating them or winning the match, you'd be able to get the banner, or maybe just by being in the match you would get the banner. And then as you play and continue grinding out, when people eliminate you, they get the banner as well, and it kind of spreads that way. Do you think that would have been a better system than having an entire sprite locked behind this system? I'd love to hear your comments down below. But without further ado, I hope champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. Hope it got you a little bit more hopeful for grabbing every single sprite in the game, because the Polo sprite is something I've seen a lot of people fiend over, trying to be like, how could I get this? I need it now. And even though the variants are pretty rare, this one should be pretty common to actually find, because how you're able to find a lot of Burnt Peanut sprites and all that stuff, it should basically have the exact same commonality, even when using the sprite locator gadget. Until next time, however, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and I'll catch you champs and champions tomorrow with another upload. So until then, peace out.